Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another beautiful day in Indiana. So we're still sitting with the one farm up north that we have yet to plant on corn. Not quite dry enough yet, but we're hoping it's close. So while we're waiting on that, farming doesn't stop. On to the next couple projects. We have another contract of beans that we can start hauling in. This bin, you can see we've already got the sweep going. I think there's probably maybe a few more than 2 loads in there still. That bin is still full. While I run the sweep and help Dustin load, Dad is making sure our old 3020 will start, and we're going to swap out this tractor, put the 3020 on this auger where it normally is, get our chopper back on that tractor where it normally is. And we've got a few roadsides and stuff, that specific ones we like to clean up first, that we're going to hit. Give you an idea of how long it's been since we have hauled beans out of here. The ones we spilled are now about 6 inches tall. All good. Give you guys a little bit of an explanation on how this works before we get a whole lot of noise and dust going. So, unload the bin like normal. Once it stops running in this well, we throw this sweep in here, which is powered by a simple electric motor plugged in out there. And then this sweep is just another auger that pulls everything to the center, feeds that center well, and then we've got shovels and brooms that we keep the grain pushed up against it. Not the most fun job, but it's not bad on a smaller bin like this. One guy can easily keep up while the other guy is out there loading the truck. So, at this point, I'm just waiting on a truck to fill. And he's here. Found not a big issue. Well, could have been a big issue, but this pulley is sitting too low in the cradle, as you can tell, causing the pulley to grind. So we ran to the hardware real quick, picked up a couple washers. See if we can't see if they. Oh yeah. Don't know that. Go ahead and now push down because you're on the beans. Push. It's a little high. Let's take a couple out. Or at least one. Lift up just a little bit. Now come. Yep. There you go. Perfect. All right. That spaced it up just enough. It should clear. Let's get back to loading. We are currently about halfway. Alright, finally. You can tell I've sat in a tractor for the past month and a half. Manual labor just doesn't come as easy. Ugh.
I'm gonna go head up and get
That's why you always wear a mask inside those bins. Keep that out of your lungs. Nasty stuff in there.
Let's literally go home. We'll find probably an inch piece and literally bolt it on here where it takes up the space.
The entire space.
But what we were doing wasn't really working.
Yeah.
Completely different.
So this hitch is way too wide for the 30-20. It really sags and hangs, and it bites into this when you try and turn. So like Dad was saying, we're going to go home, make a spacer that sits on top of the 30-20 hitch to take up that slack. And that'll keep it level when we're trying to turn. Because we have several more bins to empty with that tractor, so might as well hook it up the correct way this time, and that way we won't have to worry about it again. All right, so what I found here, I've cut this one down yet. I haven't drilled out my hitch pin hole yet, but if I stack that one on here, I got to cut this one down, stack it on there. So, and then we'll bolt it here. I'll put a couple tack welds here to hold it square. Drill a hole through, and then that gives me about 2.5 inches of thickness, where the gap on the auger was about 3. So we got a little bit of leeway, but it'll hold the hitch of the auger up a lot higher, like it should be. Well, it's been a very typical project for me. So don't have a drill bit big enough for the hitch pin, so that's out. Plasma cutter, we've used it long enough and we're poor enough at it that tip's destroyed and we can't find the replacement tip. So I was like, all right, torch, let's use the torch. Out of oxygen. So just got back from the hardware, full oxygen. Hopefully we've got enough acetylene. Okay, yeah, should have checked that before I went. But let's get these holes blown through it, get back to the bin before Dustin gets back, and he's waiting on us without a tractor. Hey.
Better. Much better.
Well, that is our completed spacer. Just got to bolt it on, tighten it down, and we'll see if it works. Or it could be... All right, well, a serious amount of guesswork went into the creation of that. So, cross your fingers, hope it works. Moment of truth. Look at that! Like a glove! Alright, now it sits a whole lot better than it used to. Used to be it would be at a sharp angle. And now we can actually use the jack. The jack wouldn't go down far enough before. Alright, not quite as sunny this morning as it was yesterday, but we are back. Got the last quarter of this bin to finish out. Got the 30-20 all hooked up. Truck's here again. So let's get this bin emptied and we'll switch it over to the next one. Alright, this one's done. That hitch is working perfect. Or it hasn't fallen off yet, at least. No, if you kind of cut it back, that might... Yeah, I think we had to be almost up against the bin.
You missed a perfect thing on your video the other night.
What's that?
Lefty loosey, righty tighty. When you were getting ready to pick your...
The first time I went the wrong way, I was like, yeah. Yeah, that's what happens when you're left-handed trying to loosen a right-threaded bolt. Confuses me sometimes. Look at that.
Like a glove?
It's like we've done this before. Or halfway know what we're doing. Do a little crop check while we're waiting on Dustin to reset the truck.
Looking through this morning.
Is it poking?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. We've got one right there. Right there, right there, right there, there. I think our corn planter operator knew what he was doing.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah. I don't know how well the camera picks this stuff up. If you look down the row real close, you can see them all poking through. Well, looks like everything's flowing good in there. Fun fact, that thing you see in the middle of the bin is an old stirrator. So it hangs on the top of the roof, augers go down into the grain, that would spin, and then that thing rotates around this bin. And it would help agitate the grain and even out the moisture, help it dry better. But we don't use those anymore. In most bins we've actually pulled them out of. Alright, we got Dustin loaded, got him on the road. Hopefully he can get more than one load in today. But my job for the rest of the day We're gonna start hitting some roadsides. It's in range. So I definitely have a love-hate relationship with mowing roadsides for several reasons. I like it because it's relaxing. I enjoy it. I find it relaxing. It doesn't take a whole lot of thought. You just kind of zone out and be in your own little world. But it's not a moneymaker. Nothing about mowing roadsides makes you money. I mean, yes, it keeps things looking nice, and you don't have a problem doing it. It's part of farming ground. But nothing about it makes you money. So that's kind of it's a double-edged sword. I guess it's just a good thing I enjoy it sometimes. So the trick is to mow as close as you can to the power pole without actually hitting it. And then later we'll come back with the ATV sprayer and we'll spray around those poles to keep the weeds from growing too tall where I can't mow. So the main reason I'm out mowing roadsides today is actually we've got a landlord whose daughter is having a graduation party this weekend. So we've got a little bit of roadside around their house and farm that is starting to get grown up, kind of looks about like that. So we figured we'd get it cleaned up for them before the party. And I was like, oh, that's all right. I'll just make a whole day out of it. I'll start mowing roadsides. And I told Dad, I'll mow my way up there, kind of hit our roadsides on the way. And I got to thinking, I said, I got to be careful doing that because we've got enough roadsides between the farm and them that if I mow everything between here and there, I may not even make it up there. So I'm hitting the stuff around the shop first, and then I'm just going to make a beeline up there, make sure I get that done for them today. Help them out a little bit, clean it up. That was rough. All good though. Alright, let's do one more and then I promise I'm headed north. It's just extremely hard to drive past a farm that has grown up roadsides and not mow them. But I guess if I want to get my goal done today, I'm going to have to. Hey, you survived! Found myself a little friend. Don't worry, buddy. I'm all done mowing. I won't hurt you. Alright, just finished my last farm for the day, and there's something so satisfying about looking at fresh mowed roadside up against a good looking crop. Speaking of which, I'm up here on our wheat field, which looks fantastic. Have I mentioned in any of my other videos how excited I am to see how this does? Because I am. And it's time for me to head back to the shop. I'm calling it quits for today, and it's time for you guys to find that thumbs up button, like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you guys in the next one.